Hey guys, you're all very welcome back to today's segment in our transfer program. My name is Linda Halstead and I am a Home Youth Liaison Officer with the Sligo Leitrim Home Youth Liaison Service, and I work in a number of the post-primary schools in County Leitrim. So I am in Ballinamore Community School and Mohill Community School on a Monday. I'm in Drumshanbo Vocational School on Tuesdays, Carrigallen Vocational School on Wednesday, Loughallen Community College in Drumkeeran on Thursday, and back to Mohill Community School on a Friday. So you can find me there when you start school in September. So for today's section, we are going to have a look at everybody's favourite topic, which is rules. Okay, so guys, before we start, I just want to reassure any of you, you do not need to panic about the new school rules in secondary school. Okay, many of these rules are the same rules as you would have had in your primary schools. So it's just with your age, you would be expected to take a little bit more responsibility for some of them, okay? So in the school journal that Irene would have mentioned in a previous video, all of your school rules and the school procedures will be outlined in detail for each of your specific schools. So when you start in September, one of your teachers, possibly your year head, will sit down with you and go through all of these rules and procedures in detail. They'll outline all the specific rules to each of your individual schools, and once you have read through them and you understand what is expected of you, they will ask you possibly to sign those school rules in the section in your journal. And that way then, that's them knowing that you've read them and that you've understood them, okay? So you don't need to memorize them off by heart, okay? They're all there in black and white, and you can have them and look at them in your journal as often as you want, okay? So please don't be worrying about them. However, there are a couple of general school rules that every school kind of would have and would expect their students to follow, okay? So we're going to look through some of those now, just so you can have a little bit of familiarity and be a little bit more comfortable with the idea of the school rules before you start, okay? So we're going to start at one of the biggest ones, which is showing respect to all of your teachers, to all of the school staff while you're inside and outside of school. Okay, this is really important, guys. Showing respect for yourself and for all of your other students is really, really important as well. Okay, bullying of any type in secondary school will not be tolerated, and it will bring sanctions with it. Okay. And again, one of my colleagues, Paula, has done a previous video on what behaviours constitute bullying. So if you're unsure of that, you can always go back and have a look through that video again, okay, that Paula done a few days ago. It's also really important that you respect all of the school property and all school equipment, okay? So any damage to school property, if you're littering at any stage, if you do any graffiti, okay, these are all seen as damage to property. And there is a possibility, guys, that you could be asked personally to replace anything that you damage within secondary school, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? We want to keep the environment nice for everybody. Another really important one is that students would be expected to be on time for school and for all of your classes every day. Okay, being punctual is really, really important. You'll be expected to present all of your required homework in each of your classes as instructed by the teachers. And just remember, guys, there is a little bit more homework involved in secondary school than there would be in most of your primary schools. So following your timetables like Irene has meant over with you before, and keeping on top of your homework is going to be really important. And again, it's another way of adhering to the rules and making a good impression on your teachers in school. Be sure to be on time for all school events. Anytime that you're representing the school, it's really important that you be punctual and that you show respect for those procedures within the school. It's also really important, guys, that you're all wearing the correct school uniform every day, okay? And that includes school shoes if that is required of your schools. Okay, in some schools that may not be a requirement, but just be mindful of the school policy in terms of your school uniform, what it should consist of. That does include, guys, piercings, how you can wear your hair. Some schools will allow boys to have big afros, or they'll have, maybe one piercing. But then there'll be other schools that could be quite strict, and it will be a neat dress code at all times with limited piercings, if any at all. Okay, so again, they will be outlined in your school journal specifically to each of your schools. So don't be worrying about that for now. Okay, and really importantly, guys, in secondary school, it's really important, because there's so many kids in the school at all times, is that everybody behaves in a manner that is respectful, that is kind, that is well behaved, so that everybody in school can have a really good experience. School is meant to be about learning, but it's also meant to be a place where you can have fun, and most importantly, where everybody has the right to feel safe. Okay, so just adhering to these rules is really going to help with that. There's also another few rules that will be pretty basic across the schools, okay, and these rules will bring kind of heavier sanctions with them. There are things that you could get in trouble for, so really try and be mindful of these and adhere to these as much as possible. So things like being late for school, being late for certain classes, or needing to leave school early, you will need to either have written permission from a parent, which you will present to a teacher or the school office. You may need to have a parent with you to sign in if you're late in the morning. So really adhere to these, because it's something that may not be tolerated very well in your schools, and it's something to be extra mindful of. Chewing gum or eating and drinking inside in classes. For a lot of teachers, guys, this can be a no-no, okay? Chewing gum in all schools is pretty much a no. But in terms of the food and drink within the classes, that's up to each individual teacher in a lot of schools. So this is something that you'll get to know once you start in September, okay? And you get to know your teachers, and they'll let you know pretty much straight away what they expect in terms of behaviour within their own classes, okay? Phones. This is a really big one, guys, because we know many of you have phones, or maybe by September you'll be getting your first phone this year, to have it in first year. So it's okay to bring your phone to school, but you would be expected to leave your phone in your locker. If you don't have lockers, definitely within your school bags. Do not take out your phone during class time, during your break times or lunch times, because if you are found with a phone in your possession, within your hands, or looking at it during class time or during the school day, your phone will most likely be taken from you and kept within the principal's office, and quite possibly a parent would have to get in touch with the school to get your phone back. Okay, and none of you want to be without your phones, I would imagine, so just be extra careful about this, okay? Another really obvious one, but one that needs to be stated, is that schools are a smoke-free, drink-free and drug-free zone. Okay, so no smoking of any description, no drink taking in specifically alcoholic drinks, and no drugs of any description are allowed on school property or anywhere while you would be in your school uniform. Because while you're still wearing your school uniform, you are still representing the school. And even if it is off school property, you could still face sanctions for it, because you were in the school uniform and therefore seen to be representing the school. Okay? So, like I said, there's just some general rules that all schools would have. Most of these you're already doing in primary school, so please don't worry about them. You're not expected to know the rules off by heart. When ye start in September, one of your teachers, along with the principal and along with all of us here in the Home Youth Liaison Service, will be there to help ye get to terms with all of the rules that the school has, and we will make sure that we're there every step of the way to help you as much as needed, okay? So don't be worrying about it. School is going to be fun, it's exciting, it's a new start, and that's the way you should be looking at it, okay? So for now, go out as much as you can, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy your summer holidays when you get them, and we shall look forward to meeting you all in September, okay? Bye for now, guys.